So a couple days ago, PewDiePie uploaded a video titled, "I drew every day for 100 days, showing the insane progress he's made in developing his drawing skills over those 100 days. Dextero tweets out a picture of his day 1 compared to day 84, and captions it by saying, "PewDiePie's 100-day drawing journey is actually insane." FPS Sausage responds by saying, "I see Pewds is spending his time wisely. Good for him. Nice art too." Inhuman says, "Artists were in shambles over this." Opera GX says, "Bro is just doing side quests now." Ray Art says, "AI guzzlers. I couldn't learn to draw because I didn't have the resources you did. Stop gatekeeping art." PewDiePie draws in a book for 100 days. Is this the result everyone could expect after 100 days of drawing? Of course not. But 100 days is going to pass regardless of whether you draw or not. Better to have had 100 days of practice than 0, even if you were only marginally better than when you started. Kaidai Gaming shows their image of a dragon and captions it by saying, "One time I drew this shit, no AI needed." Rai responds, "That's the GOAT for real." Asa says, "All it is being consistent. Anyone can draw if you put the time in. Don't mistake talent with hard work." Takura says, "Well, I'm done for. I've literally drawn for a whole year back in 2019 and never did something like that." Raya responds, "Your bio says you were 19. He's 30 plus. Imagine how good you'd be if you drew until you were over 30. Everyone has a different pace, but it's just about keeping at it." Bursting Button says, "AI bros are wrong, but using PewDiePie as an example isn't doing the argument any favors. He of all people has the resources." Raya responds, "He drew inside of a book, on some paper, with some ink. The markers are a fancy finishing touch, but aren't required for the learning part. Anything else you need is quite literally on the machine you used to send that tweet. You have access to humanity's greatest archive of info, the internet. There is no other magic needed. Quite literally finding a piece of blank space on paper and drawing. Most of my early artist development was done on the borders of notepaper at school and class. If you wanted it bad enough, you'd do it." Pillows Are Comfy says, "I just want to say, thank you for being so supportive in your replies and comments for the new artists and younger ones. It is very refreshing to see in this climate, and it's true. People are fantastic at learning. Thank you for cultivating that." Raya responds, "The thing most art doomers don't like to think about is every artist they've seen, ever, has to go through the learning process. The feeling of doubt and frustration of improving. I still feel that way after a decade of doing this. So if I can be a positive influence in whatever little way I can, then it's worth it." Third account says, "Bro, just practice for 4 months. It's that easy. Not trying to defend unethical AI practices, but not everyone has time for that. For a lot of people, they just want a result without having to pour months into it. It's the same as the argument about digital art not being art." Back at Tiffany responds, "People will never get to the result they wish for if they are not willing to spend months and even years to achieve it." Third account responds, "Why not? I can spend a year practicing art or spend a couple days using AI and make the same quality image. Neither will be perfect, but one will take a lot less time." It's gonna be great response to Rai's tweet by saying, "All along the secret to art was just to be loaded and retired. Why didn't I think of that?" Lushin Zenner responds, "He did it with pencil paper in half an hour at most a day. I am 99.99% certain you spend more time than that on social media, given your timeline." It's gonna be great responds, "Do you think I'm only on my phone? What's it like to have no responsibilities?" Yono post quote tweets Rai and says, "Half of anti-Twitter is going to start drawing now and quit after 1 week." Grums quote tweets Rai and says, "The replies in this thread on PewDiePie's 100 days of drawing can get pretty salty. If you can't find 30 minutes before bed to draw, it's not because you are not a millionaire. You just didn't want it as bad as he did." Ryan says, "His improvement is more than you'd expect from someone who just draws every day. He did extra anatomy studies to target things he wanted to improve on, whereas regular art Twitter will have people who have never studied anatomy. It's disingenuous to frame it as typical." Eric says, "Shout out to PewDiePie for sticking with drawing. There's definite improvement. You were 100% correct. Art is no different from the gym. Takes practice, perseverance, and learning to enjoy it. Hope your progress inspires others to not be scared to pick up a pencil or brush and create." Forget Me Blue responds, "I'm sorry, but this kind of stuff just doesn't motivate me anymore. I've been drawing since I was 9, just day in and day out drawing at times, and I never improved that fast, and I still haven't gotten to where I want to be. I think some people just have it in them, man. I don't know." Eric responds, "Takes time. Also take progress in strides. Everyone has a different pace. You'll become demotivated if you aim too far, and expect quick results. Also, try changing how you study and practicing. Learn from references and lean into things you enjoy, and learn to forgive and reflect on your failures." Hydrawave quote tweets Eric's post and says, "PewDiePie did what most AI artists could never do. He picked it up and started drawing." Ya boy Prague says, "Bob Ross, anyone can paint. PewDiePie, anyone can draw. Gatekeepers." Ah! Cool Psycho 106 says, PewDiePie can do it, so you should pick up a pen now. You should draw a hot chick now. You should draw a cool dude now. You should draw a giant robot. You should pour your heart and improve now. Jeez, okay, fuck. I guess I will. Anyway, Ilakuda says, them AI dudes have been mad silent since PewDiePie's video drop. Not gonna lie, any artist who sees this should drop their art progress from the last 100 days. Sir Squeer responds, to be honest, I could use AI to help me improve with my art / get references. I understand that some artists see it as a threat, but I've found it super useful for inspiration. Ilikuda responds, I don't care if people use it for reference. I've done that in the past, but the ones who think it's just there to get rid of artists and an excuse to be lazy are annoying. Parcia shows PewDiePie's video and says, being good at art doesn't mean you were born gifted, and PewDiePie just proved it. This is why I believe it's never too late to try art. Kai says, AI artist. You're gatekeeping art! Not everyone has talent like you! AI is the future! PewDiePie with the steel chair, showing a picture of a man with a very defined face. Duke Doke says, he made it! Holy shit! I'm so proud of you, Pewd! Keep it going! Showing various screenshots from PewDiePie's video. OZ quote tweets Duke and says, I'm actually very flabbergasted and super inspired after I finished watching this. PewDiePie do be really giving so much proofs that practice shows progress. We all start from beginner, guys. Don't be like stupid lazy idiots that steal others' work and generates it to AI. Shellsist says, have been watching my coworkers drawing for the last few months because of that PewDiePie shit, and I'm seeing a few trends. Perfectionists improve slower. People who erase more improve slower. Guy who draws like 7 full spread pictures of naked women a day improving scary fast. Browntable says, PewDiePie is a rich millionaire. Of course he can afford to draw, and then cuts himself off by showing that paper, pencils, and any other supplies you need for drawing is less than $10 total on Amazon. Zai shows some of PewDiePie's drawings and says, nah, cause PewDiePie better than me. Shubham says, the fact that he chooses markers for his first coloring tool and he nailed that shit? How the fuck? Lazy Boy says, like hell nah. I think we got ourselves a prodigy here. Bro went training for just 3 months and is now good enough to make money doing commissions, laughing my ass off. Ironic Not Savage says, PewDiePie said, I didn't like that one. I tried, I just wasn't happy with it. The drawing in question, showing a really good drawing of an anime girl from PewDiePie's video. Meyer says, I don't know, I have my opinions on PewDiePie, but people thinking they have to quit art because he has improved drastically by drawing for 100 days straight is literally the wrong conclusion to take from this all. It's proof that art is an acquired skill. You can learn if you put time into it. It beats all the AI bros claiming that artistry is a talent you are born with. Nah, we are just all dedicated to our craft is all. It literally beats the stigma that artists are lazy. It takes so much fucking work to be good at what we do, and instead of celebrating improvement and feeling inspired, people are just taking this as a sign to quit? I cannot wrap my brain around this. Lithiara responds by saying, classic case of being blind to your own progress and achievements, and maybe a tiny bit of frustration they don't have the discipline to practice 100 days straight. Maya responds, I'm just kind of tired of the online mindset where everything has to be amped up to 1,000 and nothing can be observed with nuance. Someone succeeds at something, better throw in the towel now and make a dramatic tweet about quitting instead of applauding them? Emka shows a clip from PewDiePie's video and says, PewDiePie confirms that Kobani is the best girl, hashtag Chainsaw Man. Nazark Overture responds, if I recall, is this similar to retracing the art? But if I had to be honest, retracing it and putting some layer of shade onto it can be quite hard. Emka responds, goodness no. Tracing is copying by drawing over another drawing through a thin piece of paper to get exactly the same lines and everything. It's just copying using a reference, which is good and what you should do as a beginner to learn. I mean, even pro use references. Luna responds by saying, but he's just copying from the manga! Cleo responds, so? He's learning. Unless this comment was being sarcastic, then carry on. MK responds, yeah, there's nothing wrong with what PewDiePie is doing here. He's learning using references. Verlis says, I find it funny that the anti-AI crowd had made their art argument so purist, they have to call this stealing even though it's how literally every artist trains. Curb says, he's doing what's called learning. I know it's a foreign concept to you, but it's normal. Wholesome Jack says, hey, for everyone in the comment section, using a reference is not remotely close to stealing or tracing. Chewy Dog quote tweets MK and says, he's just stealing art. Blood is trying to learn how to draw, so he's copying art to learn proportions. He's not publishing or selling any of this, nor is he claiming he made any of it. He's allowed to draw in his personal journal. All day motherfuckers on this app calling him an art thief. Danielle responds, basically everyone I know who learned art has collections of random other people's original works that they use to train. Dark Souls R34 says, AI bros saying he's stealing art is the funniest and most ironic shit. Octavius DP responds to MK's tweets by saying, saying, "This isn't tracing. This is literally how you learn art. It's called master studies. Anyone saying this is tracing has a mental capacity of a tardigrade." Knight says, "It's called having a reference. Tracing is literally taking the image and putting a layer over it and using your pen to trace over all the lines. Tracing is fine if you use your own artwork, in my opinion. Definitely not someone else's. That's copying someone's own hard work." Based Lita shows the thumbnail of PewDiePie's video and says, "Wow, bro is back to shame the tech bros. Bro improved so fast, like wow, I'm kind of speechless right now. It took me like a year to get that good." Clemental responds with one of PewDiePie's drawings that he showed in his video and captions it by saying, "Bro fucking ate with this one." Based Lita responds, "Fuck." Chainsaw Zero says, "I think a great part about his improvement comes from the fact that he's self-aware. Him going through old stuff, pointing out why some of them didn't work, and pointing out his own mistakes to improve on. That mindset is half the battle right there. I'm taking notes from that." Based Lita responds, "I'm taking notes too. Gotta better our skills." HB says, "That's why he's the GOAT." Based Lydia responds, "In the age of AI, he came and gave us artists the encouragement we needed to better ourselves." Victory Draws Manga responds to Based Lita by saying, "He's actual living true proof that literally anyone can draw so long as you put the fucking dedication, passion, and actual brain power work into it, no matter your age or your skill level." Rock Solid reacts to Based Lita's tweet by saying, "Turns out simply drawing consistently and focusing on improvement improves your skill." Igaza Kenya says, "PewDiePie just said to all artists, can you keep up with me?" Alex here shows this gif of Thanos disintegrating and says, "Twitter's hatred for PewDiePie after he proves everyone he can draw if they put effort in." At Did It You Draw Sometimes responds, "I don't care if he's learning art. PewDiePie is still a racist piece of shit. People just somehow forget how he said the N-word more than once. And the entire T-Series versus PewDiePie thing, sparking massive racism towards Indians. He can rot in hell." Sugar responds by saying, "Bro, thank you. I thought I was crazy. How did everyone just forget the whole slur he spat out?" Draw Sometimes responds, "Clout can get you anywhere, huh? It's so pissing off to see people casually dismissing it." Bold Mango responds, "Exactly. Anti-blackness plus racism is never a deal breaker for them." Draw Sometimes responds, "Exactly, dude." In the replies, you see the exact attitude they hold towards this kind of thing. Will Faulkner says, "Wait, is he actually still racist? Genuine question. I thought he toned down all that edgy behavior." Draw Sometimes responds, "Considering the repetition of behavior, the fan behavior, and the general lack of proper apology towards all who were affected, and there were a lot affected, I'm inclined to say he is, or at least not forgive him." Professor Yaoi quote tweets Draw Sometimes and says, "You guys don't know what it was like being desi and in middle school during the whole PewDiePie T-Series thing. I feel like it caused a permanent effect on racisms on South Asians online. I'm not even kidding. And it's still around even today. You guys treat our culture as a meme, and it's weird." Senna responds by saying, "The amount of times I heard these lyrics has done irreparable damage to my identity. This guy needs to log off forever," highlighting the specific lyrics from PewDiePie's Bitch Lasagna song, where he says, "You got a fifth of the population in your nation, but I got 9-year-olds of world, so hold your defecation, oops. Moto Potlu, what the fuck is that even supposed to mean? Your language sounds like it came from a mumble rap community." Professor Yao responds, "God, I forget how bad it was. Like, how would you ever think this is okay to say, ever? Same with Bitch Lasagna and like Bob's and Vagine. Like, do you guys have any new jokes?" Draw Sometimes responds, "Exactly! The amount of self-hatred some of my desi friends went through, them hating their culture, their identity was terrible, and his fan base didn't help either." Professor Yao responds, "Literally what I went through. Like, I was ashamed of my ethnicity so bad during middle school. Like, I would literally lie about it or dodge the question. Every time it makes me so sad looking back. I shouldn't have felt the need to do that." Tenshi responds to Draw Sometimes by saying, "My father said that people who can't accept and adapt to changes are most miserable in the world. You people literally cannot see others for who they truly are, and it's saddening." And that's about it for the discussion about PewDiePie's art improvement video. I think it's really cool that he's doing this, and I definitely agree with all of the artists saying that all you need is a pen and paper and some due diligence and the ability to identify and learn from your previous mistakes in drawing in order to become a better artist. I don't draw like that often at all, but occasionally if I'm really hankering to sketch something, I will. And a couple months ago I did that by drawing this. It's basically a hodgepodge of Pikmin creatures and mechanics that I made up in my head and wanted to draw out after making the Beating Pikmin 4 without any Pikmin video on my gaming channel. And while it doesn't look the best in the world for someone who doesn't draw, I think it looks pretty good. I just happen to have a lot of determination and passion to draw this particular picture, so I took the time to shade it and draw it and make sure it looked good, and yeah, that's the result. result. So I'm sure if I continue to draw every day, I could improve, and so can you. So if you're thinking of wanting to draw, wanting to get better, just find something you like, reference it, draw it, maybe alter it a bit or combine it with different things to experiment with being able to draw something more original or what have you. I don't know. Point is that if you want to learn how to become a good artist, just get a pencil, get a paper, and start drawing. Don't worry about like goals or where you want to be in 100 days or whatever. Just draw. Just draw and see where it goes. And I think that mindset can be applied to a lot of other creative works like creating YouTube videos or writing or what have you. Just try, do it, go online to learn about different tips and tricks that you can use and implement to improve on your previous works, and keep at it. Anyways, if you liked today's video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe with notifications on to keep up to date with more Twitter news. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section below. And with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video.